Yes, we are looking at the 1988 remake of The Blob and whether you should watch it or not. And so I actually saw this movie when I was in college. No, I was not in college in 1988. And I rewatched it just last night. I hadn't seen it in quite a while. And to be honest, it was a little better than I remembered. And I think that's just because movies today suck so bad that this movie starts to look a little better after you've seen so many modern movies. What the movie has going for it is the first half is really pretty strong. It's got pretty good characters in the movie, and then actually, it's not really a spoiler, I won't tell you which character. One of the main characters is actually killed off very early on. It's like a main character, and that kind of sets the tone that nobody in this movie is safe. You know, everybody is fair game. Now, I think the movie actually pushes that too far, and so it eliminates some of its better character actors early on in the movie, and then you're left with just these teenagers towards the end. That's a bit of a problem. That's one of the downsides of the movie. The movie is very good at cutting back and forth between scenes, which is something I don't actually see in movies as often anymore, but it'll jump back and forth between two scenes very quickly and keeps your attention very well in that regard. The visual effects, a lot of it has held up pretty well because it's practical, but some of the blue screen effects have not held up as well. It's almost like they get a little worse the bigger the blob gets, which is understandable because that would be harder and harder to create as an effect the larger the blob is. The movie starts to lose its way halfway through, and it introduces this government conspiracy plot, which is totally unnecessary and ends up actually detracting from the movie, in my opinion. I think if the movie had stuck to its guns and just kept itself as a small town incident. Super 8 did this too, the movie Super 8, where it gets too big. It starts introducing government agencies and things that don't need to be there. And so I think that actually hurts the movie. The first half of the movie actually feels a little bit like Tremors. You know, it's kind of funny. It's got some surprise gore moments, which are kind of fun in that 1980s spirit. But then it just starts to lose its way a bit. So should you watch it? If you enjoy these 1980s horror movies and you're not expecting too much, then yeah, check it out. If you're looking for something a bit more fine cinema, no, it's not going to be good for you. I think somebody once said this movie is essentially The Blob eats the Breakfast Club, which is pretty funny, but actually pretty accurate because a lot of the characters are those that kind of one-dimensional, stereotypical 80s characters. You have the cheerleader and the football player and the bad guy, just like the Breakfast Club. But no, I think you should check it out if you're looking for something fun. It scores a 6.6 on IMDb. That's probably pretty accurate, maybe 6.8-ish, maybe, if I'm feeling charitable. But it stars Kevin Dillon, and it's kind of fun at times. So that's the 1988 remake of The Blob. Laters on the Menjay.
Laters on the Menjay.